If you can't drive a consumer, any person down that funnel, from awareness to action, using these and charge with these currencies along the way, and translate those currencies into wealth, you haven't built a 21st century model. Now, there's a bunch of things we absolutely have to do as an industry. We need form factors and packaging and all kinds of things to happen as an industry before we can go ahead and build this translation engine. And believe me, everybody I know in the entire television business, in the entire online video business, is thinking about this 24/7. But as you start to think about it, start to understand that if awareness solves my problem, there's nothing cheaper than TV. I can make everybody in the whole country know what's happening. If I'm opening a movie this weekend, I'm at a couple cents a person in pure dollars to get everyone aware that my movie's opening this weekend. The internet can't do that. But if awareness doesn't solve my problem, let's say if I'm Chrysler, everybody knows what Chrysler is, it's not selling any cars. Everybody knows what Coca-Cola is, it's not selling any Coke. Awareness doesn't solve their problem. Now I have to use some other currencies. Now I have to use some other tools and techniques. Now the internet starts to become really interesting. And now online video becomes an important tool.
So I'm Shelly Palmer, and I'm the author of Television Disrupted, the transition from network to TV, and the host of MediaBytes, a daily show with news you can use about technology, media, and entertainment.
Fantastic. Now, one of the things that I found really engaging in your keynote was a discussion you had around currencies. I was wondering if you could help our OneDegree readers who weren't able to attend this conference understand a bit about what you were talking about.
So there are a bunch of currencies online other than cash. And as you know, the internet is fantastic at creating value. Instant messenger, very, very valuable. IM is one of the most valuable things in the world, but nobody's making any money. Skype is usually valuable. You can phone anybody around the world for free. You can video conference with your friends all over the world for free, but nobody's making any money. So it's easy to create value, but the biggest problem is translating that value into wealth. And so we have to find other ways to do that. And one of the ways we would do that is first to understand what the currencies of the internet actually are. And they're very easy to find. The easiest one, of course, is attention. And in fact, attention, the currency itself is written into the grammar of the English language. You pay attention, you receive attention. So that's an obvious currency. But other less obvious currencies are intention, like Google may be the best translation engine for intention. They delight in telling you after you type a little phrase into their search box that they found 500,000 occurrences of what you want in 0.02 seconds. So they know your intention is not to be on Google. They know your intention is actually to get off of Google as quickly as possible. That's what they try to do. They translate that value of intention to wealth. If you happen to click on something and they make money, that's great, but it's important to them to serve your intention because that will make you come back. And the more times you come back, at some point you are actually going to click on something that they make money from. You'll use an application that they do make money from. And so then there are other currencies too, like fame, street cred, respect, passion. All of these various currencies can be translated into wealth, but not directly. They need an engine, and the engine is going to be your business model.
Now, you talked also about engagement, about engagement with respect to whether it's a currency or not, and mentioned that you didn't feel it was.
Well, it's not that I don't feel it isn't. Engagement is not a currency. Engagement is a concept. You could create an engagement index. Many, many people have. They'll use time spent versus things clicked. I mean, I must have seen 100 different ways to define an index called engagement. But until it becomes commonly accepted, until everyone is willing to use it as a currency with very specific components that are measurable by third parties, that are measurable by, like all good science, by everybody inside the value chain can go, oh, I understand how to measure that. Right now, when I do something like I say, I want to buy 400 gross rating points against women 1824, women 1834, women 1849. Everybody in the business understands how to sell me that. If I say I want 425 gross rating points with an engagement index of 8, nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's just not a currency that I can use to transact business. And until it becomes a currency that I can transact business in, until I can make a marketplace, I don't have a business.
Right. That's fantastic. I had another question,
Sure.
One more, around the last discussion you were having around consumer
Fractionalization.
That's the word.
It is.
And the distribution models and the need for them to change. Could you talk a bit about that?
So what's happened is everybody you know can tell you, or even you know that your consumption patterns have changed with respect to media. You consume media differently today than you did a year ago, and everyone that you know probably does also. Even if you don't, even if you still just sit down at the TV and watch TV every day, you know somebody, and it doesn't matter how that's changed, whether they're using IM, whether they're using a handheld, whether they're using a PDA, whether they're using their computer. It just matters that everybody has a story. So the consumer consumption paradigm has dramatically changed, even in the last 12 months. What hasn't changed is the distribution paradigm. We don't see distributors catching up with this fractionalized consumer. And the paradigm change from the consumer or consumption standpoint is about control. A consumer, it's the concept of we, what I want, when I want, where I want. And that is antithetical to the advertiser, who actually needs the right person in the right place at the right time. That sounds like we, but it isn't. And so that angst, or the delta between right person, right place, right time, and what I want, when I want, where I want, is a big distribution problem, because as a distributor, I need to package that audience to my client, and the consumer will cobble together their own we system because they can. So it's incumbent upon distributors now to come up with a system that looks to a consumer like what they want, when they want, where they want, but to an advertiser becomes right person, right place, right time. And once they get that together, there's going to be a business.